Today is the opportunity for the Labor Party to show that it really does believe in marriage equality, or whether it's just playing a political game here.
I don't think you have to be a genius to work out where the majority of feeling is in the Labor caucus on this.
That is the best and fastest way to resolve this issue once and for all.
I haven't heard a good argument emerge at the 11th hour in favour of the plebiscite.
The leaders of both the major parties have shown they favour same-sex marriage. Only one of them, Malcolm Turnbull, has been handcuffed to a policy he didn't want. Up to the very last minute before this morning's caucus meeting, the government urged Labor to discuss compromise, hinting it might consider dropping the controversial public funding for the yes and no campaigns.
We could have this outcome 4 months from today if the Labor Party put the political games aside.
But it was to no avail. The Labor caucus voted this morning to block the bill, arguing it's too divisive and costly, ensuring there'll be no happy ever after ending in this parliamentary term. To announce the party's decision, Bill Shorten held a news conference in the caucus room.
I was quite cheery about it.
Inviting same-sex couples and their families along to hear it.
Having met these families, having listened to their stories, I could not in good conscience recommend to the Labor Party that we support the plebiscite about marriage equality.
For newly elected Labor MP Susan Lamb, the plebiscite is deeply personal, as she spelled out yesterday during her first speech to Parliament.
The holding of a plebiscite is deeply offensive to the LGBTI Australians, and it's deeply insulting to those who love them. I will always be a person who stands against discrimination in all its permutations. And in doing so, I stand in solidarity with my son and the LGBTI community.
What I know after 16 months of campaigning is how powerful stories are, and when you share them. It tells a little bit about people and who they are and where they get their views from. So to me, I needed an authentic speech. When I started writing it, I wanted to talk about who I am and what my values are, and how they shaped me and where I came from. So there was pretty powerful in the story sharing of my son.
Ms Lamb has 4 sons. All were in the public gallery for her speech.
They're all at this point in their lives now where they can choose to start having their own relationships, and 3 of the 4 boys have love that's worthy of marriage and 1 doesn't. And I can't stand by and accept that.
The plebiscite was one of the last major policy decisions of Tony Abbott's leadership. He insisted on a joint party room meeting last year to settle it, including National Party MPs in the decision. That angered moderate Liberal colleagues at the time who favour same-sex marriage. They thought including the Nats was akin to branch stacking. Malcolm Turnbull stuck with the policy when he became Prime Minister, vowing an end to captain's picks. But even Mr Abbott acknowledged last year the plebiscite position would be the last time Coalition MPs would be bound to follow the party line.
I've come to the view, I believe this is the party room view, that this is the last term in which the Coalition party room can be bound.
Labor thinks it's on to a winner, bolstered by public support for a parliamentary vote and keenly aware of the tensions within the coalition on this issue. The ALP's already introduced a private member's bill for same-sex marriage and hopes 3 openly gay Liberal MPs might cross the floor to support it or abstain, guaranteeing it'll pass the lower house. It'd be rubber-stamped in the Senate. But that assumes the government will allocate time for a debate. That won't happen. Allowing a free vote would risk a coalition split, and with a 1-seat majority in the reps, threats like these from national backbenchers can't be ignored.
The government that I am a part of and will remain a part of is conditional on the fact that the only way that there will be a change to the Marriage Act in this parliament is a plebiscite. And my position as a member of the government is very clear on that.
Just because you've got a few National Party MPs threatening to bring down the government unless Mr Turnbull does it, that's Mr Turnbull's problem. But that's not Australia's problem, and that's not my problem.
Mr Turnbull wouldn't answer questions about allowing a free vote this term and instead applied pressure to Bill Shorten.
He advocated a plebiscite. So what's changed?
I'll remind the member for Sydney she's been warned.
Mr Speaker, is the politics. The Labor Party is not so much interested in same-sex couples being able to marry as they are in wringing every ounce of political gain out of this debate.
And in the chamber where the plebiscite bill's fate rests, there were fireworks in question time.
This morning, the Labor Party has driven a stake through the heart of marriage equality. Has driven a stake through the heart of marriage equality. Because, Mr President, regardless of the piety we hear coming from people like Senator Wong, who assert that they believe in this cause, and you say it matters to you, Senator Wong, why won't you do something about it?
He's still hoping the government might persuade crossbenchers into changing their minds.
It is not too late, Senator Hitch, and other members of the crossbench. It is not too late to reconsider your position, to give Australians the marriage equality you say they deserve.
If Susan Lamb has her way, the crossbenchers will resist.
I know personally that a plebiscite would absolutely divide communities. It would divide families in some cases. Since my speech yesterday, my inbox is overflowing with support. I've got a 73-year-old man from my electorate. You could nearly feel the emotion through the words on the screen as I read it. Just saying thank you. Thank you for bringing this to the attention in Parliament.